Hello, guys. We are back for the AOPL Showdown. I'm Sturbo. I'm well rested, and today I finally get to cast with Kriidy. Yesterday we did matches one by one, but today we will be back once more in the casting booth. Kriidy, how are you doing? First of all, are you also well rested?
Well, I am always well rested. I am, like I said before already, I am like a robot. I can sleep like for 8 hours, feel good. I can sleep for 3 hours, feel good. It's the result of years of insomnia and all kinds of weird sleeping schedules. So basically, as long as I sleep, it should be fine.
Yeah, very nice. That is awesome. So we have four teams today that have made it through, and we're gonna start things off with a semifinal. So we'll be played in a single elimination bracket, as you can see here as well. We have the two matches that will take place as first. We have Antic Esports versus Steak and Cheese. This will not be the first match though. It will be Restless versus Trident Storm, and I also have good news because we have a very special person not in today, unfortunately. Sabo Jr. for Antic Esport, who jumped in yesterday, short notice, will not play. It will be Kuda, so the fan favorite will unfortunately not be there, but of course he's still there. I mean, Spork and Kuda can't thank him that he jumped in like that, right?
I mean, hey, man, he did exactly what he was supposed to come there. You know, people expected Antic to get into the second day. Of course, without Kuda, it might have been a bit difficult. But Sabo Junior, he saw, he came, and he gave Antic the spot
He
in the
conquered.
playoffs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Napoleon would
absolutely
be
perfect.
proud of him, to be honest. So good job
Absolutely.
here. Good job from Kuda, of course. Sabo for Kuda, of course, that he jumped in. So I think they will be the clear favorites to take it home. But I think they firstly have to clear their first match. So I do really look forward to that. Format will be as yesterday. We have a best of 5 on those already known maps. So you have to win 3 maps in order to take it home. And well, I mean, should we go into a small prediction game? What do you think? Will it just be the first seed from both groups play against each other in the final, or will we see a surprise?
To me, that will be the case. I am expecting Antic and Restless to be in the grand final. I expect for it. I think it's knowing the players. It should be very clear cut. It should be either Antic or Restless 1 and 2. It can go either way, in my opinion. But third place is going to be Steak and Cheese, and fourth place is Trident Storm, in my eyes, if I have to
So,
put in a. But I will say, I looked at some of the matches from the regionals that they had, and Restless actually have an upper hand over Antic. So it's
mhm.
Winky Face and Red Bolt have been, when they played Antic, I believe once or twice they have beaten them both times. So, but from other competitions, I can't remember quite well. So it's going to be an
Yeah.
interesting grand final if they get there, but we'll have to wait and see.
I do think so as well, and I mean the top 3 seed will be important as well. Maybe the in the future the match between Steak and Cheese and Trident Storm, because I do think so as well that they have a slightly less chance to make it to the final. Those teams, they can definitely shock. I mean, it can catch you off guard. We have seen it yesterday. I think it was Pivo Badge taking 2 maps from Antic, if I recall that correctly, or from Restless.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was something that can always happen, and I mean, momentum is definitely a thing that has to happen. But top 3 seats will, of course, then qualify to the main event, because that is here only, quote unquote, the showdown. And also, the maps will be released today. So that will also be a thing after the third place match. We're going to have the maps being sent to the public.
Yeah, then we will have even a little bit of a showcase as well. But once we get to that, you will all be able to see the first glimpses and the first little glimpses of the 7 maps to be played for the main event. But of course, that's us jumping the gun. Of course, we can talk about the main event when it comes to. But today, of course, as you mentioned before as well, like the first match is Restless and Trident Storm, and I will definitely say that Trident Storm are um, gonna be the underdogs here and the dark horse. I mean, they have good players. Complex and Neumann are definitely players who
Oh,
have the
yeah.
capability to drive really well. But what we saw yesterday, like Winky Face and Red Bolt, definitely have the pace on their hands, and that's gonna be very tough to beat, especially Winky. who on some occasions just constantly was in first position and only faltering maybe on the last few hurdles, maybe just pushing a bit too much, clipping the checkpoint there or a corner there. But overall, like Winky and Red Bull look quite formidable.
Yeah, definitely. But also Neumann and Complex, you should not sleep on them. Especially Complex yesterday has shown great pace, and Neumann also had a couple of really good runs. I think that what they really were lacking was consistency, because I think they can keep up with the pace from the others, but it will be hard for them to just get those runs into the finish. So it will all depend on how their map picks will work out, because I think it will be hard to beat the opponents on their most comfortable maps. I mean, the Firestone map in general was very, very favorable for them, as this will probably be first pick. I would just go that far and say that that was a very safe pick, always for the winning team. But I mean, on their picks, they have to take it home, and then maybe also luck is on their side on map number 5, because I do think that mostly none of those matches will be 3-0s. I hope this will age well, by the way. So
Yeah.
I hope that this will not be the case.
I will say that today is a very good shot that both teams there will be a case that we will get to the 4th map or even the 5th. There is high chances of that happening. It mostly depends on whether, well, Restless yesterday, every time they went on the first map, we saw it 2 times. They played 2 times and they were down every single time on the first map, and then they just got an ace and took it like 10-8 or 10-9, So Restless, maybe not hot out the gate, maybe something that Trident Storm can storm their way to actually get an advantage and get that first map away from them. But that's where Restless have been the most weakest, literally the first map,
Yeah.
because they struggle to get it going. So if Trident Storm can take that one map, that might snowball a bit. Maybe Restless actually get a bit restless. Push a bit more mistakes. There's possibilities, but then they could just say that we'll ace you back again and take a 3-0 and move on to the grand final.
So I go into my prediction, and I do think that Trident Storm is gonna win 3-2. I'm just gonna say that. After seeing
That's
their
a
performance
bold
yesterday,
one.
yes, they played really well, and Winky Face and Red Bull also were good, but they lost and they conceded a lot of points. So I do think that they are beatable. And what you said with the first map, I mean, there were so many close ones, but also I think the last map in particular was very good for them. And that I think last match that they were casting. So I do think that they can take it. I will go with the 3-2 for Trident Storm.
Well, that is definitely an interesting wall. It is, of course, that there is a little bit of an update, because it seems that Winky Face actually has been doing some practice. I just noticed from the corner of my eye that there is actually a new world record on Sun's Retreat in this case, and it is by Winky Face as well. So I don't know about you. It seems to Winky Face is like, you know what? Maybe I should actually practice a bit more, So I,
Yeah.
honestly, if I had to choose, I would be very confident in saying that Restless is more can very possibly take it 3-0. But I'm leaning towards more like a 3-1. I think they will actually give one map away, because I don't think Complex and Neumann will really let it happen. But on the other hand as well, Restless have not really given a good time in, for example, regionals. Again, I have to emphasize this, where they have met them most of the time.
Yeah.
I believe Restless barely even gave them a map, and that was like a best of 7 format. So it's very hard to say. Of course, this is a completely different playing field. The stakes, of course, are that the top 3 have a locked-in seeding for the main event, so something to play for. But whether it is a motivator, I will have to wait and see. But I love the
Yeah, we
fact
have
that
to.
it can go either way. I don't think when you say like Trident Storm could take this, I don't think it's like outlandish. It's a far-fetched one. It's gonna be difficult to get a 3-2 for Trident Storm, but hey, I'm up for it.
Yeah, maybe this will age well eventually, and always like just to root for the underdog, or to just make a bold assumption that the underdog is gonna take it. It's always more fun to say, oh yeah, you know what, Carl Jr. is gonna win, for example. And well, I mean, I do think that also this break, this 1 day break, also served players quite well in this case, and I think this will heavily be advantageous for Restless in this case, because I mean, just setting a world record just before the match, why not? And that shows pace, but consistency is more important. As we are starting now with the pick phase, now I'm really interested to see what will happen, what they are going to pick. It is Burned All Down as pick number 1 from the blue team. And let's see what we're gonna see. What Complex is gonna pick for his team. It will be Putumayo, the word with 10,000 meanings.
Yeah, Putumayo as well. Yeah, it is actually. It is also another thing. What Putumayo is, it actually is a river in South America as well, if I remember right. I actually conveniently looked up some of the things. It's Putumayo is used in a lot of things, but it's one of the things. But we have Sun's Retreat, Archetype, and Bali being the decider. Usually, yesterday Bali was literally the first map picked in the majority of the matches.
Now my prediction is already wrong, because I said that this might be the first pick, but it's not. I thought that Restless are going to pick it, but they didn't even touch this map. They picked Burn It All Down and Sun's Retreat in exchange. And then we have Putumayo and Archetype for Trident Storm, and Bali. Maybe this is going to be played as the decider. So we're not going to go into a map swap because we're already on the correct map. So the match will be starting, and good luck to the teams. Complex and Neumatt versus Winky Face and Red Bolts.
Yeah, it is a fight between, well, it's almost all Australia versus New Zealand. It is Australia on one side and then Australia and New Zealand on the other side. Trident Storm having members of both countries. So, but it is an interesting always to see them. And honestly, I don't know. It's to start off with Burn It All Down as well. I'm just trying to like reminiscence to myself how they did on the maps themselves, and to be honest, I think Winky Face and Red Bolt are more favored on this one. It's much more simple. It's a nice way to start off, and whether Complex and Neumatt can also get into it, but it can work both ways. I think it's a very simple map with not that much difficulty, but we've seen interesting things happen, especially with the ending of this one, where a simple drift can cause a lot of headache.
Yeah, this map has a huge content window in the ending, and players are aware of that. As we are starting with the first round, again, format as follows. There's 3 outcomes in the rounds. There's an ace, which is first and second. There's victory, which is first and third. And then there's also a draw. An ace gives you 3 points. Victory gives you 2 points. The opponent 1 point. And the draw is 1 point for both teams. And look at that. Neumann and Complex already leading. And that's what you were talking about. The first map for Restless is usually not looking too good. And right now, this is a beautiful situation for Team Trident to get themselves an ace, and surely they're not gonna throw this away. I already jinxed it. I think the jinx is still on cooldown from yesterday, how severe that jinx was, as Complex and Neumann will clear that one nicely and nothing will go wrong. They will not lose 2 seconds in this drift. This is impossible. And there you go. It's the ace for Trident. Good start for them.
Yep, exactly. Like, that is the perfect stuff as well. Like, it's the first map cursed for Restless, it seems, that no matter what they pick as their first map, it just doesn't really, work or meld for them, But, it's perfect for Trident Storm, Take advantage of it as well, while Red Bolt says in chat that it's a discovery run for him, first time playing the map, clearly. But, but we'll see. Of course, it's as a perfect start as you're gonna get, but Winky Face and Red Bolt, I don't think they're not gonna let it slide well, especially, well, I say that, of course, Winky Face again having a bit of trouble in the first segments of the track, and again puts Trident Storm in a leading position and a possibility to just get a back-to-back ace. And I mean, that would be as good as you're gonna get it. Of course, still they need to finish it off, but Red Bolt is really struggling to keep up with them.
Yeah, they really struggle with that. And again, it looks to be like an ace going into the last portion of the map. Neumatt not touching there as well. And that is a beautiful spot here for Complex and Neumatt, as they have 6 points. And this is like very hard to throw away, I would say, in that way, because even if you get 1 point every round, you are just gonna be in the victorious team, right? Or like if you get 1 point, like let's say Restless gets 2 points every round, it will still be Trident taking it home, and Red Bull not with a great start. So they only need that one lousy point here, and then they set themselves up nicely to win this map, as Winky Face now gets a good start, but Red Bull not with a good line, and Winky Face with another respawn, Red Bull also with a respawn, and this looks to be like another ace. Even though Neumann made a mistake, Red Bull is too far behind to answer the call. This is another ace and a beautiful spot for Trident. Wildcards do not matter. Consistency is what does matter.
Yeah, I did read in there's actually a fair point somebody made in chat as well. I believe that, you know, Winky Face got the world record, but clearly he forgot to practice every other map in the pool. At least from what we're seeing at the moment, because Complex and Neumann, especially Complex at the moment, consistency in 49.8.
Good time,
is
yeah.
rather strong. He's been doing 50 lows, 50, I believe it was 51, 50, 0, and are now at 49.8. Complex is here, do not mess about. And I know for a fact that, yeah, Complex, you know, this Complex from OCE is, once he gets going, he can be absolutely insanely fast. And up there with the likes of, you know, Winky Face with pace, Buda and Spark, and we can see glimpses of that as well. But
yeah,
Winky Face, the bad line, has to respawn, and that's basically much GG. Our Trident about to just fully ace Restless just from the get-go. That would be a statement and a half to start off. I mean, Red Bull could get 1 point, but it doesn't matter. It's pretty much GG.
Yeah, I mean, Restless for that first seed look absolutely abysmal today. Like, this is not a performance that I would have expected from them on this map, to get absolutely clean swept here. I mean, they can at least take 1 point, but I mean, Red Bull right now battling, but it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. It will be the 11-1 in the end for Trident for the second seed, and also a good time for Neumann here. So this map is over, and I'm not sure what happened here with the Winky Face and Red Bull. Maybe they didn't practice this map that much, as it seems like Winky Face is stuck in an action key or something like that. Not sure what he's doing, but well, this is map 1 done after just 4 rounds.
Victory. Yep, that is. Oh, it was almost a perfect map. Red Bull did have to, you know, come in there and take 1 point, so it is 1-11. But we are moving on to the next map, and now, well, clearly this is the first time now where Restless lose the first map. Previously, they were able to sort of hold on, get sort of the, you know, the ace always, you know, to save their first map pick and then move on to the next maps. But now they have to go into Putumayo, and honestly, I can't really remember them really playing Putumayo that much, if at all. I would have to, of course, double check, but I can't remember Winky Face and Restless really playing this map from the group stages. And if I quickly check as well, yeah, they
I'm also
did
checking.
not play it at all. So it's the first time we see Winky Face and Restless on this as well, but it should be something they're more familiar with, at least in regards to it being the most recent AOTC map. But still, it's a very difficult track to get right, even in the best of days.
Trident, however, picked this map, and also seeing the warm-up, this looked absolutely beautiful from them. So they were already like 3, 4, 5 car lengths ahead, but of course the live run is always a different story. So let's go into the first round with the POV here of, actually, let's go with Red Bull, who's a bit further behind, also opts for a wider line and has a bit more speed, but of course travel way more distance than anybody else, and Complex already on a banger of a time. This looks to be like a good round for Trident again, as Winky Face squeezes himself in there, and also Red Bull gets a really good line, clips though, but doesn't get penalized, but not the best line for him, so he's out. Let's see what Neumann is doing, if he can get himself another ace with him and his teammate, or for him and his teammates, but nope, it will not be the case. He will not even clear the jump, but he's still ahead of Red Bull, which is important. So this will be the victory for Trident, and another great start into the map. It's 2-1, and it seems like Trident Storm looking absolutely good today.
Yeah, they are definitely looking a lot more prepared. I mean, definitely this is what I was hoping for, that the teams that maybe did not feel like as comfortable on day one, didn't maybe get the results that they specifically desired on some of the games, or, then they would, pick up a bit of the, practice. They have a day, they did have a day to actually, commit to a bit, get a bit more you know, get a bit more muscle memory going to know exactly what they're expecting. But we can clearly see that Neumann and Complex are much more prepared, as Red Bolt really hasn't been here today. He's been struggling on both maps so far, and it's really Winky Face who's been sort of in the lead, but he's still, judging from what we see on our screen, he's almost half a second behind, while Complex and Neumann are just cruising their way to a potential ace here, unless something really goes wrong, which I doubt, because at the moment they've been looking rather comfortable. Face is closing the distance though, so I don't know quite that it's really comfortable, as he's right on the tail right now.
Yeah, but this is not the best line. Gets airtime and has to release a lot, but doesn't get penalized that much. But Neumann and Complex taking home their 4th ace in this series, so this looks great. 6 rounds played so far, halfway through the 2nd map, and it's 5-1 for them again. So look at that. It's a beautiful spot for Trident, and even maybe my 3-2 prediction was even too off. It could be a 3-0 at the end.
Yeah, I should have said that instead of Restless getting a possibility of 3-0, I should have just said Trident to begin with, because unless, of course, we have to look at it in the way, the fact that, Winky Face and Red Bull played substantially a lot more confident yesterday. Of course, you could say that maybe the opposition, wasn't, the same caliber, you would say, but then again, Steak and Cheese is in the tournament still. They did beat, DXA Singapore and such as well, but they still have to beat everybody. As Red Bull Complex is out though, so maybe Restless about to finally white arrive, as Red Bull has a bit of airtime. Can he actually make it? No, he can, but where's Complex though? Too far behind, so it will actually be an ace for Restless. So it seems that finally, hopefully they got some good sleep, it seems, Restless, but they seem to be slowly waking up now.
Yeah, so there you go. It is the 3 points now for Restless. It looked so close there for Trident, as they could have definitely gotten 1 point in this round. But now Restless is back on the board on their first pick from their opponents. But, I mean, Neumann and Complex also didn't have the best start. Now Winky Face versus Neumann here at the start, as we currently are on Complex's POV. At least I am. I'm not sure where the production is. Okay, it's Red Bull, but that's also fine. It also gives us a very good overview over the top 3, and Complex and Neumann finding themselves in that 1st and 2nd place. Good line there as well. Winky Face going a bit wider, has good amount of speed. Complex clipping there something, or just rubber banding around. Okay, that was the case, but look at that fight here for that 1st position. Neumann, Complex, and Winky Face are all pushing it, and also Red Bull is not too far behind. Complex going over the penalty surface. Winky Face not catching it, but his teammate did. Complex will stay on 3rd, and Neumann will clock in another 1st position, 51.256, also only 0.6 away from Min's world records. So it is a good scenario for Trident, because now they're up to 7 points, and with that they have an angle to win with an ace in the next rounds. Win the map, not the match.
That is definitely what you want to see if you're a Trident fan, and they have been a lot more punctual at the moment with, I think they are the ones to actually take the ace here, rather than the other counterpart for them. And for the time being, it is Red Bull doesn't get keep the gear, has a bit of a slower turn there, so falls quite a bit behind there. But it is Winky who's the one actually, still competing with the two members of Trident up in front, but hasn't been able to really capitalize on a good run here. There have been some fumbles then and there, but Complex or Neumann, either or, has just given Winky Face a bit of a headache, and we see at the moment that Complex is just flying away at the moment. Very good lines and keeping it very fast as well, but Neumann is not the one this time who gets it around the corner, and it is a draw. PB by Complex, so clearly he has the pace to match Winky and Red Bull, but you really want to take advantage of the rounds if Red Bull is slightly falling behind, but Neumann's not fortunate this time.
Yeah, unfortunate stuff there for him, not staying on track. I mean, this is hard to, like, if you push too much, you just get airtime, and either you get fragiled or you just completely get yeeted off of the map. And now Red Bull almost flies off of the map there just when I talk about that. Doesn't have a lot of speed for the start, and also drops the gear, so he will lose a lot of time. It's now 0.7 behind, but also Complex didn't have the best section there, but his teammate Neumann is in the mix, and I have to say Complex and Neumann is a very good addition now, or like they add themselves up pretty nicely, as they are just trying their best to get a consistent run through every time, and hardly both of them have made a mistake in both rounds, as we have seen Winky Face and Red Bolt both making some mistakes, and now Winky Face is on that second place, but it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter because 2 points are needed, and Neumatt and Complex also taking home map 2. Look at that. What a performance from them. It's 2-0 for the second seed. Restless has to pull the trigger on the next 3 maps and have to win all of them.
Yep, it has to be a reverse sweep now. There's no ifs and buts there. So they have to now take this map. But, funnily enough, this is Sun's retreat. So let's see. Does getting a world record make a difference for Winky Face? So clearly he knows the map now more in and out than before. If you are driving to get a world record, or he just wanted to have a very nice name on the top left, you know, Spark had 3 of them, so maybe Winky Face thought, you know what, I like one as well. That would be very nice, but we'll see. Will driving a world record actually benefit him? You know, he has the pace, but can he actually, well, judging from that warm-up, hopefully that's not what is to come, but wait and see for that possibility. But we can see if can a world record make a difference?
Yeah, I mean, 0.289 is definitely quite fast, but you need to be consistent, and world record is not consistency. I mean, if you maybe have played this map for an extensive period of time, yes, it is. And also, what is your teammate doing then? That is also important. You know, what is Red Bull doing? Because I have not seen too much from him just for now. I mean, he is 70% crashes, 0% top 1, so Red Bull definitely not living up right now towards Winky Face's world record, even though he gets a really good start. As Winky Face is in the lead, but Neumann and Complex are also prepared on this map. Look at that, they are currently on first and second place. Winky Face tries to opt for a more aggressive approach. There has more speed to work with, but it seems like he is still not in clear first position for now, as the ending now comes into play. But Winky Face has not the upper hand for now. It is Complex with a lot of speed into that section here. Let's follow Neumann, who's not too far behind either. It looks to be that this will be the victory for Trident, because Winky Face with a bit of an oversteer movement there has a bit more speed, but it will not be enough, and Complex will win this round. So world records do not matter, and also Winky Face absolutely trolling the end, so will be the ace instead of the victory.
Yep, a bit too much to the right, trying to take advantage of the ring checkpoint, but if you hit it, there's a very high likelihood that that ring checkpoint delays your finish just enough for the member behind to overtake you. And they were rather close, and that puts Trident in a 3-0 position, and now Winky Face has to carry Restless, and Red Bull has to get into the mix, but Neumann has a bit of a fumble, and now if there's any time to start catching up, it is right now. And ideally Red Bull, well, needs to get the rounds going, but he does fall quite a fair bit behind. But Restless need that first position, so Winky has to actually put that pace on the board, and, you know, show his cards as well a bit more. You know, Winky is definitely more of a time attack player, definitely. So, you know, doing arduous grinds is not something that he's something that is new to him, but rounds consistency, of course, can be a bit different. But what we're seeing right now, at least, is something that Winky is doing well, but that is not how you want to do that section. He's trying to go for very fancy nose slides, but he doesn't even make the jump there, and gives away the position.
And that's the one thing. Having the world records, but not knowing the safe lines. Yeah, well, I mean, then the world record is also so unimportant, really. It's just a flex, but the world record literally doesn't matter. Complex and Neumann are just playing very nicely, and this was a round that was 100% a victory for Restless, and just seeing that shows that maybe Winky Face and Red Bull have not that much practiced this kind of maps, or like, I'm not sure what's going on, but this is not that is definitely not what I was expecting, because a 5-1 to catch up will be very hard. They are at least in need of one ace, and we now see another mistake from, I think it was even Winky Face, touching their Complex and Neumann. Both got away with that, so they're on first and third again. This match could be over just in 25 minutes. Who would have thought that? And I was off with my prediction. You know, 3-2 was too little. It was even a more decided match in this case, but it's not over just yet. I mean, Winkyface gets a really good line after his mistake in the start. Complex is currently still leading the round. Very good drift from Winkyface, overtaking his teammate Red Bull on third position. Good line from Neumann here as well, going a bit too wide, but I do think that the positions are set in stone unless someone fails the ending. We have seen it a lot, but this time it's not gonna happen. Good times here as well. I mean, 1 minute point 21 enough to win. It's 1 second away from the world record, but Winkyface is not able to pull it off.
Yeah, but we gotta keep in mind that that was Winkyface with a crash. You know, he did touch the wall and he was able to catch up the time. So it shows that if Winkyface is allowed to start the rampage, then it is a bit of a different story. But he's risking a lot. You can see the lines that he's going for are the lines that you want to go for the most amount of speed. That means you're gonna run into the wall like Red Bull did as well. So Restless, really a bit of a shadow of their former selves, at least from yesterday, and not really finding any sort of groove today. So at the moment, if anything, it's more of a case to look at that Neumann and Complex have been absolutely stepping up their game, and they are not here to settle for third position, you know, behind Antic and Restless. They're here to win. And honestly, with this performance, even Spark and Guda, will be spectating most likely this match, or you know, preparing for this, they are also going to be looking at this and seeing that they cannot afford any mistakes as well, while Neumann and Complex, maybe not the fastest, but you are going to put on pressure on the opposition if you're constantly finishing the same time over and over again. So it's tough nuts, and Restless is just stuck.
Yeah, they are indeed restless. I mean, they're completely embodying that, and now they have to, like, I mean, if you like go on some sports betting site and just check the odds for this kind of scenario, I think it would be like a 1 in 10,000 or something like this. Restless can still take it home. Maybe a bit lower because Restless were the favorites beforehand. I mean, a bit higher, I mean. But, I mean, Trident only need of 1 point, and both Red Bull and Winkyface have to perform now. It's back-to-back ace and just having a shot, and, well, there's a mistake, and this is almost over. I mean, just so many mistakes have happened already, and this is just not good for Restless, and I think they can be happy if they at least, or if they even get that third position today in the lower bracket match, which they probably have to play in right now because Winkyface is currently leading, but his teammate is 1.2 seconds behind. Complex and Neumann only need to get 1 point, and well, there you go. They're probably gonna get 3 in this round. Absolutely disappointing performance from Restless in this match.
Yep, there's nothing really to sugarcoat it there. From yesterday's performance to this, it is definitely a bit of a downgrade. But hey, if there's one thing to look uplifting, is at the moment that the Trident Storm have technically secured secured themselves a spot in the secured seeding. Basically, you know, the top 3 will get that position done, and that puts Trident Storm in the grand final. And honestly, this, if my memory serves me right, this was the fastest match of the entire Showdown. If to
22
be honest,
minutes.
I can't remember it being quite 21 minutes or so. So, so that's a lot ahead of the schedule than we expected. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, it is an absolute disappointing performance from Restless, but on the other hand, Trident stepped up so much. What a great performance. Not the fastest times, but very consistent, just punishing every mistake that was on there. You know, even though they were a bit behind in some of the rounds, they were able to keep their composure. There was only one really, like, I would say, bad round from them where they got aced on map 2, but well, it's over after just 22 minutes. And I do think that the next match is scheduled for us or for me in like 22 minutes at 8:45.
Yeah, it was scheduled at 45 indeed, because technically, you know, a best of 5, you know, a 3-0 yesterday, it almost took like 30 minutes or so, of course. So, you know, a best of 5 until map 5 can technically go up until 45 minutes. It depends, of course, how quickly the sets go themselves. But definitely, hey, if anything, Restless can take, you know, as a positive, you know, they have the record of losing the fastest in the Showdown. I don't know if that's a trophy you want to hold on to, but then again, Trident can look at it that they beat the Restless in the fastest time in the Showdown as well. So, you know, it goes both ways in that regard. But either way, definitely looking forward to seeing Trident Storm now going up against whoever They will face in the match whoever will win in the match between Antic and Steak and Cheese that will be coming up later on. But yeah, we have now a lot of time, so either we now fill it a bit so the break is shorter, or everybody just gets a massive ass break.
I think we're gonna go for a massive ass break because I think the matches will be very, very nice. I think Trident showed that they are ready, and whoever they are gonna face in the grand final, I think it will be Antic. It will be a good rematch that will be happening, and I do think that this will be a lot of fun to watch. And well, I think with that, we're just gonna send you on a like 15-minute break, and then we're gonna be back with Antic Esport versus Steak and Cheese.